So if let's say the bushings that you supply is 10% of the transform value, with this company coming into the picture, up to what percentage of the cost of a transformer can you cater to?
Understand, if the transformer industry is good for 10 years, bushing or critical component suppliers like us,
Yeah.
we have a visibility of at least 15 or 17 years.
This Yash high voltage, in your entire presentation, there's no mention of Yash. Okay, so who is Yash? You acquired this company in 2008. So what value did you acquire? When you acquired, what did you see in the company that you could really turn around?
For a very small company, you asked about the volumes. So the turnover of this company was few lakhs,
Okay.
not few crores, and it was a struggling startup. When we start exporting these products, the margin expansion will also happen because of better prices, which we'll be able to realize when we are exporting a product.
In export market, you got like large players doing maybe 10x, 30x your existing capacity. And wouldn't they dominate in terms of cost?
And the new factory, which should be ready by mid of next year, that again would have almost 1.5 times the potential than this company.
Yash High Voltage is a newly listed company that engages in manufacturing of bushings. Bushings are the most integral part of any transformer. While there are 250 plus transformer manufacturers in India, the bushing market is concentrated to less than 8 players. Today, the promoter of the company, Mr. Keyur Shah, talks to us about their business moats, the new facility that's coming up which will tremendously increase top line, and why they think bushing demand will sustain for the next 10 years.
This is the first time I'm doing an interview and I don't know which location I'm in. So from Vadodara, we drove around an hour and just put on Google Maps. So I don't really know where this location is, but your factory is great. Thank you for the tour.
Thank you.
And Mr. Keyur Shah, you are the MD of Yash High Voltage. And today we are here to discuss in the next 45 minutes. My entire intention is we speak about the power sector. More than the power sector, let it be solar, let it be wind, let it be hydro, thermal, whatever the source of power may be. There's a lot of checkpoints between the supply of power and where the demand of power is. Demand can be consumers, demand can be now data centers. In between these two, demand and supply, there are different checkpoints. One of the checkpoints is transformer, to step up and step down that voltage, right? And on each transformer, there are your products, something called bushing, that looks like a spring, which is of course much larger in size, that goes on these transformers. So my understanding of your business, is this correct?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for visiting here, and you are most welcome to Yash and most welcome to Baroda. We as Yash are making this very critical component of a transformer, and power, as you rightly mentioned, has different journeys: generation, transmission, distribution. Generation can be solar, it can be hydro, it can be thermal, it can be wind, any source of generation. When this power is produced, this power is too high in current, which is impossible to transmit.
Yeah.
Because of the size of conductor would keep on increasing, the size of cables would keep on increasing. So transformer, as it is said, is the heart of a power system, and bushing is considered as a gateway to that heart.
Okay.
So that power would be inserted into the transformer, and then the transformer would do its job. It would step up the voltage, reduce the current, so then it is transmissible.
Okay.
So whenever that power has to go inside the transformer or has to be taken out of the transformer, there has to be a very strong medium. That is the role of a bushing.
Okay.
So this part which you see, that is known as an insulator. Inside there is a central conductor. It can be aluminum pipe or a copper design, copper rod, copper stem, depending on the current. So the line gets connected here. So this, the power goes inside. This portion goes inside on the. It is sitting on the transformer tank. This portion is immersed inside the oil of a transformer. So it has to withstand the voltage. It has also to give a safe path to the current. So this disc, they play a very important role. And the center conductor will make sure that there is no heating. You can imagine such a large power going inside. When we insert our finger into this 5 ampere plug, 220 volt or a 415 volt, we get a shock and the finger gets burned. The finger gets burned because of the current, and we get a shock because of the voltage. Now that we are talking of 220 or 415 volt, this we are talking of maybe say 2,20,000 volt, 4,60,000 volt, 72,000 volt, and current as good as 25,000 ampere.
Okay.
So you can imagine what sort of heat is getting generated.
I can't imagine.
So that is the role of a bushing.
Yeah.
And that is the criticality of a bushing. That's the reason very few players are in this field, because the reliability of bushing will decide the reliability of the entire grid.
Absolutely.
If there is any flaw over here, there can be catastrophic fire.
No, you said it's a heartway to the heart.
Yeah.
So
it's a gateway to the heart.
Gateway to the heart. So if the gateway is not there, there's no point in the heart.
It's very, very, very critical. And world over, it's not in India. World over, any engineer into the power system, whenever it comes to bushing, would be always cautious.
Yeah.
Which bushing? What is the make? What is the field supply? What is the field experience? So generally, bushing suppliers you will find it will be handful globally.
Okay.
So we are like a tire to an automobile. You mentioned that transformers are required everywhere.
Yeah.
So similarly, bushings are required for all transformers. But when we say we are making capacitive bushings, so that means we are dealing with the most critical transformers. We are not dealing in the distribution transformer range. Of course, they also need bushings, but that is a completely different range. So we are into the niche upper segment of a transformer industry. And the bushings what we make are known as capacitive bushings.
Okay. Okay.
When we say capacitive, that means we have not only porcelain and metal parts, we have something inside which is known as a condenser core, which is a wound paper with different type of foils inside, wherein the capacitance is built, through which the safe distribution of the power is done and the voltage is distributed in a way that there will be no hotspot, there will be no flashovers, everything is designed in a way that there is uniform distribution.
Okay. To drive this point home of how important you are, somewhere it was mentioned there are 250 plus manufacturers that do transformers.
Yeah.
And there are only 8 companies that do bushings. And for every single transformer, bushing is required. So I'm able to see a supply-demand mismatch here.
So, not 250, I understand the number of power transformer manufacturers globally must be close to 400.
In India.
India must be close to 200.
Yeah.
Globally, it might be 400 plus. And the bushing companies in India might be 7 or 8. Globally, it might be not more than 12.
Okay.
So there are a handful of companies. Bushings, this range of bushings are only made in USA, Europe, India, China, and Russia.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is not there. So you would not find these bushings in different countries, who all again make transformers.
Understood. So if I were to look at the supply chain, let's say there are solar, wind, EPC players, they would place orders with transformer players like, let's say, Siemens. Siemens is there, then BHEL is there as a large player. Then we've got companies like Supreme Power, companies like Atlanta. I think they're based out of Vadodara as well. And these companies would then rely on you to provide the bushing for these transformers.
Correct.
Right? And your raw material would be oil, would be a bit of plastic, copper.
So let me tell you, bushing manufacturers apart from India, globally, suppose we talk of Korea, Hyundai is a large transformer manufacturer, Yosung is a large transformer manufacturer, in Brazil, WEG is a large transformer manufacturer. Similarly, there are very large transformer manufacturers globally.
Yeah.
Toshiba is there, Siemens is there, Fuji in Japan is there. These are all transformer manufacturers who all in turn need bushings. So we have a possibility to supply globally. We are already doing. And the key material what we use are depending on the design. If it is an oil impregnated paper or a resin impregnated paper. For an oil impregnated paper, we would need porcelain, we would need metal parts, we would need oil, we would need craft paper, we would need different type of foils, then different type of foil sealing. So there will be several components which would comprise in making a bushing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And in the bushing space, you got like GE is there, CG Power, these companies you're competing with, right?
Yeah. So in India, we have few manufacturers like Hitachi. We have CG Power, we are there. BHEL used to make, they still make, but that is more of their captive consumption.
Okay.
And Alstom also here, they also make. GE also, they, GE erstwhile Alstom, they also make, but not so large quantities.
In your con call, there was a beautiful thing that you mentioned. I don't know how much of this is true, but someone asked, why don't the people already manufacturing the transformers do backward integration and do their own bushings? And you said a good analogy that why would a car manufacturer like Mahindra or Tata manufacture their own tires?
Yeah.
Does that still hold?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Given the criticality of a bushing,
Yeah.
Everybody would generally prefer to maintain their domain expertise. If I'm a restaurateur, why would I start growing vegetables, right? If I'm getting vegetables from the market and if I can cook food and if I can serve, I would focus on that because that is my forte.
Yeah.
Right. So similarly, a transformer manufacturer is expert on a transformer.
Yeah.
And they for critical components, why would they take that headache of doing on their own when there are good reliable suppliers around? This will also ensure that their transformers are not at risk.
Yeah.
It will also ensure that the grid is not at risk. So obviously everybody would prefer that they can have a captive consumption. But if things are available, if there are reliable suppliers, generally for very critical products, people would prefer that. It's better to buy it from a established source. For me, I might also think to make a porcelain, but I don't manufacture, right?
Yeah.
I don't manufacture oil. Although I need it, I buy it. But still we feel if we are getting it from good suppliers, why should I put my head over there? Let me focus on my bushings. So I believe that's the general analogy which says that the transformer manufacturer will focus on a transformer.
Okay. And in transformers, there are distribution transformers, power transformer. Let's say a power transformer costs hypothetically 1,000 rupees. In that 1,000 rupees cost, not price of the transformer, cost of the transformer, what would be the cost of the bushings that you supply?
So depending on the type of bushing again, so for a power transformer, the bushing as a component, as a part of their bought out, we might vary between 4 to 8%, or maybe 5 to 8%, sometimes 10%.
Okay. Okay.
Earlier it was less, but now the resin impregnated paper bushings are more and more specified, which are a bit costly, maybe not a bit more costly than a conventional oil impregnated paper bushing. So with an oil impregnated paper, generally it was less than 3%, but now we can say it can vary between 5 to 8%, sometimes 9%.
Understood. And now let's talk about solar a bit, just so that I can drive an example to the audience. Let's say a 10 megawatt solar park is coming up. For that, how much megawatt of transformer is required?
I might not be able to answer that honestly. I would not be able to correlate what power requirement versus a transformer requirement would come up. But we generally are supplying to many solar projects. That is what I can say.
Yeah.
So I might not be able to give a clear answer.
Supreme Power, it's a company that I closely follow. They said that for every 1 single megawatt of solar, they would need 3 megawatt of transformers at different junctures, right, throughout the chain. So if number of transformers 3 megawatts, then number of bushings also increases because.
So again, let us understand the bushings would be needed when the power is put inside and also when the power is taken out.
Exactly.
So generally there will be 3 bushings on the LV side and 3 bushings on a HV side, high voltage side, and also 1 tertiary bushing or a neutral bushing.
Okay.
So generally 7 bushings per transformer.
Okay. My entire point of asking the question was, if power demand is growing by 7-8%, that means transformer players will do well. Transformer players do well, you do well. Now, currently in the Indian solar space, what's happening is when we attend con calls of EPC players, their execution have been slowed because the main reason is there's a lack of transformers in the industry.
Yeah.
So all the transformer players we know who's doing more than 25 kVA, I think that specification is more advanced than that. They are operating at very good capacity utilization and they're giving good growth guidance as well. How many years do you think that transformer industry is ripe for? And if it is ripe for, let's say, 4-5 years, how many years do you think you wouldn't have any issue for demand?
See, I would share my thoughts over here.
Yeah.
We have been listening and we have been reading from many magazines of our field that even today the transformer companies are announcing new investments.
Absolutely.
Last week I was reading Hyundai in USA is putting up a huge capex for transformers. Similarly, there are transformer companies globally who are investing today still.
Okay.
So imagine if they start investing today, it will take 2 to 3 years for them to get ready.
True.
Now, these companies, when the large companies invest millions of dollars, they have a reasonable research done, and there are forums where such investments are discussed. So we understand that at least another 10 years, the transformer industry is good.
Okay.
Now we understand if the transformer industry is good for 10 years, bushing or critical component suppliers are like us,
Yeah.
we have a visibility of at least 15 or 17 years because the players are less. So even after 8 or 10 years, if the transformer inquiries or the transformer business started getting settled down, the bushing players still would be loaded. Even if few players come more in bushings, the market will be huge to accommodate everyone.
Okay.
So we generally see that close to 14 to 15 years, we don't see any slowdown. We as Yash have another advantage also that we are not only focusing on newer requirements, we are also doing a lot of retrofit requirements. We are doing good replacement requirement. So certain grids which have now got old and they need restructuring or
Yeah.
they need to expand their capacity, and if the existing transformer is not fit or existing bushing is not able to do. So there also we come into the picture. We also are able to repair old bushings of any make.
Yeah.
We are also able to give retrofit solutions.
Yeah.
So as Yash, we see that while we are also connected with the newer requirements, we are also having one foot into the replacement market. So that also is growing.
Yeah.
So now imagine if the railway network is expanding so well. So there might be certain old substations which might need to be increasing, the capacity would be needed. So there again, there will be some transformer modification will happen. Then there will be new bushing will be required. So such type of requirements also we cater.
The life of a transformer, we can say, is 30 years.
Yeah.
In that 30-year life cycle, the bushing would require at least one replacement.
Generally, the transformer's life would be at least 25 to 30 years. In that period, generally the bushing should not have any problem. कभी ऐसा होता है कोई भी सबस्टेशन होगा, so ट्रांसफार्मर के अंदर पीरियोडिक मेंटेनेंस करना पड़ता है. So they would take a shutdown and they would check everything. Sometimes what happens is by human error. Since they have to also touch the bushing, they have to also measure the bushing parameters also. Sometimes by erroneous mistake, if the bushing's terminal gets not closed properly, it might be happening that there might be a connect of moisture into the bushing, and through that the bushing can start deteriorating. Which again in periodic maintenance they would see that now the bushing parameters are not in control. Then it would need a replacement. Sometimes what happens is something falls on the bushing, some metal part, and the porcelain might get cracked. So again, that bushing will need a repair. Sometimes nowadays with the RIP bushings coming more into installation, there can be a rodent bite, a rat bite, a monkey bite. They would come and beat the silicon rubber.
Okay.
So in that case, again, the bushing might, if the damage is too much, then bushing might fail,
Okay.
or it might need a repair.
Understood.
So generally, maybe once in the lifestyle of a transformer, a bushing might need a replacement. Not necessary, but
Yeah.
it can happen.
So it can go from a 10% value of a transformer to maybe 15%, 17% if the replacement is required.
Again, depending on what was the transformer, which was the bushing which was used, whether that bushing was from India, it was from abroad. Sometimes also people discontinue a particular model.
Yeah.
Now after 20 years, you need a particular model, then there might be again supply chain issues. So there are challenges in a bushing.
So there's a beautiful saying, just because you're an expert doesn't mean you're interesting. But I think you're very, very interesting and an expert.
No, we believe that we all have a dedication to this industry. We all have a dedication to our nation, and we believe that there is enough of engineering brains in India available who can create products which are import substitute. To be very honest, we have been into this field for 2+ decades, and we have been creating import substitute products.
Yeah.
And we believe that we can continue. It is interesting also, and it is also so many things to learn.
Yeah.
And contribute back to the nation and to the world.
Absolutely. So this Yash high voltage in your entire presentation, there's no mention of Yash. Okay, so who is Yash? You acquired this company in 2008. So what value did you acquire? When you acquired, what did you see in the company that you could really turn around?
Okay, so yes, you are right. This company was acquired by me in 2008, and none of my family members have a Yash name. In fact, the Yash name was decided by the erstwhile promoters who were engineers from multinational, and they had decided to put up this company for making bushings and catering. There were certain calculations which they did not, which they missed while putting up a factory, especially the ROI is not so fast in a bushing industry, and that probably there were a couple of reasons why they were struggling. And we could meet on time. And the first question which I asked was, then why did you decide this name, Yash?
Yeah.
And I got a very beautiful answer. That Yash means kirti, glory.
Okay.
And that was the point. And then he asked me, do you want to change the name? I said, no, that's a beautiful name. At the end of the day, we are all here for what? We want to bring glory to our company, to our country, to our state.
And the bank account.
So of course. So, and to all stakeholders. Yeah. So at that time, you are a very small company. You asked about the volumes. So the turnover of this company was few lakhs.
Okay.
Not few crores. And it was a struggling startup, and it was a time where even in that stage we have to compete multinationals, we have to win trust of large customers, large end users. So it has been a bumpy ride. We have gone through that drill in last 2 decades, and I am very happy that Yash, what we have reached today and what we aspire for is much bigger. And there is enough market, there is enough potential, and we are working towards it.
Okay. So you acquired this company for the value around?
It was very negligible.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was again maybe very few lakhs. Honestly, there was no buy over cost of this company because there were certain liabilities on the company which the promoters were not able to repay to the bank. So I had to take over that debt on me. So out of pocket was very negligible.
Seriously. Okay. And now it's 1,400 crores worth of company.
Yeah, we don't every day see the market cap. We believe that the company is still having multiple growth opportunities, and we believe that the company would be in another 7 or 8 years. We aspire that the company should be recognized as a global bushing player. Even today we are recognized, but in a large way, with multiple manufacturing locations, and we aspire to be amongst the top 5 bushing player globally.
So with this facility, you're doing around 200 crore top line at the moment,
like plus minus, yeah.
Because 100 crore in first half, and let's presume let's extrapolate that into second half as well. So 200 crores top line you're doing from this factory. This factory on the balance sheet is 42 crores. Plant, property, and equipment is there. So when you started, the value of this PP would have been how much, and how much did you put in extra during all these years?
So when we started here, the investments were less than 20 lakhs.
Okay.
So whatever we have earned, we have reinvested in this company in last 20 years. Whatever we could generate, we have deployed it back. And we believe that this plant, with the given capacity, with the additional investment which we did last year, even today we are doing certain additional investment in this factory also. We believe that we have another 30-40% growth possibility still from this factory,
Okay.
even after this expansion this financial year gets over.
Yeah.
So that part we believe this plant still has that potential. And the new factory, which should be ready by mid of next year,
Mm-hmm.
that again would have almost 1.5 times the potential than this company.
Okay, so if you're doing 200 right now, you're saying that that company can do 300 crores additional.
Yeah.
So that will be
This company can do additional, maybe say 50 or 70 crore at least, plus minus. And that company can also do close to 300 crore.
So you're saying the combined would be like 550
to 600
crores.
crore without any much additional investment.
Yeah. So currently your bushings that you make is 245 kV capacity.
Correct.
Technical specification. And your competitors are doing 800 kV like GE or CG Power. And your current new facility that's coming up, I think building is already started. And you're operationalizing it in the next
mid of next year.
Mid of next year, and that is 550 kV.
Yeah.
So why aren't you directly going for 800 kV, or do you like say 245, then 500, then 800?
So that's very interesting. When I joined here new, I went through an ISO training.
Okay.
And in that ISO training, we were taught one thing: difference between continuous growth and continual growth. So in continual growth, they say that you reach a point, then stabilize over there, then go for the next. So then you can sustain the growth every time.
Okay.
In your hunger for continuous growth, sometimes you are not able to manage that growth. So it's better to grow, then halt, then prepare yourself, then go for next. So we started here with 36 kV, then we went to 72 kV, then we went to 145, then 220 kV. So today we believe that this step up till 550 kV, so in next 5-7 years we should be able to reach there, stabilize there, and then probably we should think if we need to still go more, or if that is sufficient to keep us busy. At the end of the day, we believe that the businesses should be profitable.
Yeah.
We should be able to manage. We should be able to give good returns to our all stakeholders, all our employees, all our shareholders. We should be able to pay on time to our vendors. We should be able to declare dividends as if whatever possible. If that is possible, and if the company is growing, at the end of the day, it is more important that what you have expanded your reach, what volumes you are able to cater. I would not go into a race for higher voltages. We would be happy to see higher profits, higher volumes, and good profits, decent profits, sustainable profits. That should be our aim. Of course, if in future if it is felt that only higher voltages will be able to help us do that, then we might need to add. As of now, we believe that next 5-6 years, this expansion would be sufficient to get us a couple of multifold growth.
Okay, you spoke about the bushing market growing, transformer market growing, power demand growing. In bushing market, if I were to invest in a company, my biggest apprehension at the moment would be the market size. 1,500 crores is the market size of, let's say, the bushing market in India. And out of that, the products that you manufacture maybe come on 750 crores of market size.
So see, let's look at the larger perspective. First of all, we don't want to remain limited to an Indian supplier.
Okay.
Right? We want to cater to the global market.
Yes.
The global market for the capacity of bushings today is close to 25,000 crore. Out of that, the addressable market with our 220 kV range today is close to 15,000 crore. We are too small today in the overall scenario. We are adding up the capacity up till 550 kV. The market number says that this bushing market by 2035 should be close to 40,000 crore.
Okay.
Out of which the addressable market for a 550 kV range should be close to 25 to 30,000 crore at least.
Okay.
So we believe that our focus is on the larger picture. Indian demand can vary between say 1,500 to 2,000 crore today.
Yeah.
Which might increase to 6,000 to 7,000 crore because India is also rapidly expanding and we have too much of electrification left.
Sure.
Our per capita electrical consumption is much lesser
Much
than
lesser.
the developed countries. So we have a higher rate of increase. So even if it is 6,000-7,000 crore of Indian market and a 25,000, 30,000 crore of a global market, we believe that we have enough room to keep on increasing. And this has nothing to do with any other slowdown. Electricity is a basic need. It will be needed anytime. Defense is going to be there every time.
Mm-hmm.
Networks are going to be increased. Infrastructure has to be increased. Right? So we believe that there is enough room for us to grow multifold, many more years. We generally believe that a company like us can keep on growing 30-35% plus minus for many more years.
Okay, then that will be primarily driven by exports then, because India, you already have a 30% market share in India.
So Indian demand is also increasing. Many new sectors are coming up in India. There are new solar parks which are coming up. There are more and more new data centers which are coming up. This EV infrastructure is increasing. The basic infrastructure, you must have seen Northeast. Couple of years back, there was huge investment in Northeast. Now there is huge investment coming in J&K. Right? There will be in India also. There is if you see this dedicated freight corridors. So such newer investments are coming in India also. Of course, investments are coming in other global economies also. So India also will be a very lucrative market.
Yeah.
And of course, the world market is also there.
Okay.
Many rising economies also give us an opportunity to serve them. And those economies which are stagnant, there is still a replacement business.
Yeah. If you're looking at the export market and the Indian organic growth, India is going to grow organically, and the export market. In export market, you got like large players doing maybe 10x, 30x your existing capacity. Wouldn't they dominate in terms of costing and competitive advantage compared to you? So how do you plan to compete against them in the future?
Let us understand that this business is spread across the world. There are handful players today who have the majority share. It is also going beyond their capacity to please everyone.
Okay.
Whatever maybe the might of the bushing supplier, but there is a customer who has certain urgent demand which is not able to get. So they are always in need for newer suppliers. So as Yash, we today are at a sweet spot that we have been in the field for 2+ decades. The name is trusted. The product has performed on global locations for more than 1.5 decade now. So Yash is otherwise an acceptable name. Had it been a very fresh new name, people would have an apprehension. So with Yash, they have two advantages, that we are swifter, we are faster, product is reliable. Of course, we can also have certain price advantage as compared to large multinational owing to our smaller size. So we believe that Yash emerges out as an alternate supplier.
Okay.
To a transformer manufacturer or to an end user,
yeah,
wherever there is a bushing requirement. So if they have to look for an alternate today, Yash is well placed. We believe that is the driving force for us.
Got it. And with all this, you're saying that if the new capacity is in, you already mentioned 600 crore kind of revenue you can do, 500 to 600 crores, and the margins would remain the same, or would it increase because the specification of the bushing that you're going to be doing is going to be more complex?
So we believe that the new plant what we are doing with the localized RIP cores will help us expand our margins. Today our cores are being imported from Switzerland or China. That would be made locally. So there are two basic advantages that we save on the import duty.
Okay.
We save on expensive air freight because today everything is air freighted, looking at the increased demand and shorter and increased lead times from the suppliers. So these are the two basic advantages. Plus, when you produce something local in India, our overheads probably as compared to Europeans or Chinese are a bit less. So that would be an advantage. When we start exporting these products, the margin expansion will also happen because of better prices, which we'll be able to realize when we are exporting a product. Of course, the cost also increases, but we believe that moti price advantage would be there, and the margin expansion would be there.
There are two main products that you manufacture. One is OIB and one is RIP. This is the acronyms I'm saying. And for manufacturing RIP, you used to buy the raw materials from before 2024 and before that from a German company. Okay, and it was a related party transaction apparently. And when I went through the documents, a lot of documents, turns out you're holding 2.5% in a German parent company which holds the stake in a company called MCG, if I'm not wrong. It's a German company again. So are you still relying on these related party transactions for your purchases, or have you made it very arm's length type?
Okay, I'll explain. One correction, the company was a Swiss company, not a German company.
Okay.
So MGC Moser-Glasser is a part of Fifner Group. Fifner Group again is from Switzerland. And MGC used to hold 25.7% equity in our company.
Yeah.
And I used to hold around 2.5% in their Indian subsidiary of Fifner India.
Okay. Okay.
So in 2024, we sold our shares in Fifner back to them, and they sold MGC shares in Yash back to me. So now there are no shareholding cross with each other. So now it's a buyer-supplier relationship, and we have a valid contract with them through which we are buying the cores from them. We also have a freedom to buy cores from other suppliers also. So yes, we are buying cores from them, but we are also buying cores from others.
Okay. My biggest contention was that this company, the business activity is 100% parallel to what you are doing. So doesn't that create any conflict?
No, there is a huge difference between what we at Yash are doing and what Moser-Glasser in Switzerland are doing. We as Yash have many more rating of bushings which Moser-Glasser does not have.
Okay.
So we are doing oil impregnated paper bushings, we are doing high current bushings. So several bushings which we are making, they are not making. Again, Moser-Glasser makes bus ducts also. They are a part of Fifner Group which make instrument transformer also.
Okay.
So the focus of Yash versus focus of Moser-Glasser is totally different. We are 100% into bushings, and we have this entire world market available for each of us. So we believe that there is enough market for us all to exist together and to do business.
There's no conflict of interest. That's what you're trying to say.
So we do not have any conflict of interest with Moser-Glasser. There is no shareholding cross between each other. Second, as a bushing supplier, today there is enough room in the market where people can select which customers they want to deal. So I don't see there is any conflict between us and Moser-Glasser.
So, and then coming to these acquisitions, you acquired a 50% stake in a company called Sukrit Electrical Company. So what is the strategy here? Because there's another partner as well coming to acquire the other 50%. So what do you think you can make out of this company?
Okay, so we as Yash, we want to create a complete supply chain of transformer components, and we got this opportunity to explore Sukrut. Of course, we could have done it on our own also, but we believe that Quality Power is also a very fast-growing company, and they are also into the same space. And we have lot synergies between the promoters also and the end customers also, and the industry is also same. Sukrut is one of the oldest company in this country who has been making certain transformer components, and they have been a very reputed name. So for us, the opportunity is to utilize the available network of Yash and Quality Power, both on the engineering side, operational side, and also on the market side. And also we have reasonable market reach from financial sides also. So we believe that this company from this point, if it has to reach to its true potential, which is at least 5 to 7 times what they are doing today in next 3 to 5 years, that for sure we would like to do it for Sukrut. And again, Sukrut has the same potential as what we Yash have to be a global player and not remain limited to an Indian player. The quality is very good. The product has already been exported to a couple of countries. We have seen their plant and facilities studied well, entire our team, and it is truly world class.
How much are they doing right now as revenues?
It is less than 30 crore annually, and we believe that at least 5 to 6 times we should be able to grow in next 3 to 5 years. We don't see any challenge much.
Understood. And they are into transformer components.
Transformer components,
not bushings.
They also have distribution class bushings,
Okay.
very small portion of their business. Otherwise, they have buchholz relay, they have oil temperature indicator, water temperature indicator, several other products. And yes, they also have a certain range of bushings, but they have not been doing it aggressively for many years.
Okay.
So, but it's a great company.
Understood. So, sir, if let's say the bushings that you supply is 10% of the transform value, with this company coming into the picture, up to what percentage of the cost of a transformer can you cater to?
Yeah, it would be difficult to answer because Sukrut components don't amount much.
Okay.
Okay, again, there are different contribution when it is considered as a power transformer component or a distribution transformer component where we are not into.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will be a significant addition because sometimes it might happen the customer might still buy a condenser bushing from me and he would still not buy probably a Sukrut product from me. And there might be certain customers who would buy a Sukrut product from Sukrut but not buy a bushing from us. So it will be too early for me to see what would be the combined possibility. But of course, that is our plan. We would like to maximize our reach and to offer our entire Sukrut range to Yash also, and also to Yash range to the Sukrut because we saw many customers are not common. Sukrut has been dealing with couple of customers which we as Yash have not dealt, and we as Yash are dealing with many customers which Sukrut has not dealt. So it might take a year or two to synchronize both.
And so you are not someone who's inventing technology, who's doing R&D on new products, right? But on the balance sheet, there's a 7 crore intangibles asset under development. So what is this really?
So there are 2-3 things. There are certain things which are our indigenous technology, which we have developed on our own. There are few investments which are happening for the new plant where we are doing transfer of knowledge. So we are paying to the advisors for giving us this knowledge for this product. Also, there are assets which are yet not completed, which are not fully capitalized. So I believe that this all is contributing to this 7 crore.
Okay, beautiful. And you said you have a US business now where you got a sales office, and coincidentally, the tariffs have come at the wrong time. So, how does your business dynamics change? Are you currently winding down that business, or are you pushing further?
So for us, fortunately, we don't have large supplies to US as of now.
Yeah.
We have done a sales office over there. In our business, what happens is it's not that we get immediate acceptance. We need to do a lot of legwork to create our visibility, to create our presence in those markets. So the sales office today is concentrating in all our efforts in making our make included or introduced to the utilities over there or to the power producers over there. And we believe that by the time we are done with that, it should take a couple of months when we start getting aggressive inquiries which can get translated into orders. So I believe that as of now, tariffs are not hurting us because we didn't have any supply also.
Right.
But I still believe that even if we start getting business, given the price differential of Indian suppliers versus what they might be getting locally or from other European suppliers, we believe still India might not have much problem.
Okay. Okay.
For our products, at least I can tell.
So you're hoping that by the time you get aggressive, tariffs reduce, so it doesn't out.
That would be always a welcome thing if the tariffs also reduces. So not for us, but for everybody in the industry.
Absolutely. And if I look at H1 FY25, your revenues were 57 crores. H1 FY26 revenues is precisely 100 crores. So it's an 80% jump. And that is considering that the plant, property and equipment is at 42 crores itself. And you told me something interesting in the beginning of the conversation, that from this facility itself, you can increase by 20% still. So are you saying that the capacity utilization in the first half of FY25 was maybe close to 30 or 35%?
No, the additional revenue, first of all, your figures are right. And the additional revenue which we could do this year was two reasons. One is we had, of course, more orders also.
Okay.
And we also did some capacity addition also last year in this company, which today helped us in the first half to have higher volumes. Even today, why am I able to confidently say that we might be able to churn out additional businesses? Because presently also we are doing addition in
Okay.
the present factory.
Fixed system. Okay.
So that also in next 4 to 5 months, we believe that the investments will get over. So in the next financial year, we should be able to pick up some more volume from this plant because of these new investments what we are doing.
Okay. But is it safe to say that your plant wasn't fully utilized? There was not enough orders to completely utilize your plant 1 year ago this time.
So there are a couple of reasons why we would be having limitations in execution. I would not say the plant capacity. There is a huge issue in the supply chain.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as a bushing supplier, we depend on several components. This I get from somewhere else, this I get from this I get from somewhere else. So last year there was also a huge supply chain issue, which this year we have been able to streamline well. In our business, what happens is we cannot overnight qualify a new vendor.
Right.
If my demand increases and if I have a present set of suppliers, if I have to expand my supplier base, we need time in evaluating the vendor, finding the right vendor. Then our quality team goes and assesses the vendor. Then we give them some trial order. Then they execute. Then we will do some internal trials. So it takes a couple of months to enroll a new supplier. So last year we invested in that. So we are seeing good results this year. That with the increased capacity and expanded supplier base, we are able to execute more.
Okay. Okay. If I were to set up a new facility just like yours, because you acquired this company for a couple of lakhs, it would take at least 10 years for me to first get the approvals, like you said, number one. Number two, to have a testing facility. Then number three, to have that entire manufacturing, raw material sourcing, everything. So if I were to start a company today, how much time would it take me to completely utilize the plant? Maybe 5 years, 7 years?
So there are two things. In a capacity bushing business, biggest thing is an entry barrier and a trust level. So it is not that if I invest couple of crores and I put a state of the art manufacturing unit, tomorrow everybody will line up to buy bushings from me. There will be a wait period of at least 5 to 7 years minimum till the time people find trust in me. Now, what would I do in that 5 to 7 years? I will approach everyone, I will show my plant, I will do some type tests, I will get some trial orders taken, then get the trial order executed. Then people would see for 2 3 years performance of those bushings on site. And once they start getting comfortable or confident, then they will increase the load on you.
Okay.
So even if they have a 100% requirement, in the initial years, they would not part with more than 10% requirement with you.
Okay.
So it's not that everybody will tomorrow send all the 100% orders to you because you are a good new supplier and now you are showing capacity. So I will give you everything. So I believe at least 6 to 8 years till the time we can say that now there are continuous repeat orders coming from all customers and the plant is satisfactorily utilized. I would not say fully utilized, satisfactorily utilized. It
Okay.
will take 7 to 8 years.
Brilliant. So I'm not starting this business.
No, you are welcome. Nowadays there is a huge demand.
Yeah. So what were you doing before 2008, before you acquired this?
So I had been into trading business.
Yeah.
And I was a distributor for Siemens switchgears and Siemens motors, and also a couple of more products into the electrical sector. And I also had did some 2 years for ductless car parking ventilation. That was a new technology which had come in India in 2005-6, when this all mall culture was coming and high rises with 2-layered basements and 3-layer basement. So there was a company in UK, Woods, Colchester in UK. I was their representative in India, and I used to do ventilation of basements. And it was a very unique technology with a ductless fans. So with a jet fans and a ductless technology. So in case of a fire in a basement, the smoke in a regular ducting, sometimes there is a challenge in evacuating that smoke and doing the proper firefighting. So this was a new concept which was introduced in India, and I was among the initial people who did that. And I did a couple of installations, and then till that time I got a Yash opportunity.
Understood.
So then I switched over to Yash.
Understood. And last question: this plant, you've invested around 100 crores in this new plant, right?
100 plus, yeah.
100 plus, and you still will have 50 crores in cash after this expansion, or lesser?
We raised close to 85 crores through an IPO.
Okay.
And we are investing more than 100 crores. So we will be utilizing the cash accruals of this year also
Understood.
for
Understood.
the project.
So you
We
would
will
have,
not be left with anything.
That's what. That's what. That's what. Okay, so that answers a lot of questions, and thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you
the
so
time.
much. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for taking your time and coming over and asking all the questions. I hope I am able to answer.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.